I headed west to a town I used to frequent, with a gal I used to know. I had fond memories of both. It was perhaps the fondness and happy memories that made me leave the air-conditioned comfort of my condo for this out-of-the-way town. A heavy fog had surrounded my mind for some time, and I was unable to write a jot or take a single photo for what felt like many, many moons. Not a single word, not a single frame. So the re-emergence of colour, the bloom of words, and the associated euphoria to be able to think thoughts through to their conclusion brought me a considerable amount of joy. Some dollface behind the counter of a diner served me coffee with a smile and a free bagel. I found myself enjoying both immensely. She reminded me of that gal. She reminded me of this town. She reminded me of a lot of things I'd remembered to never forget along the way. Coffee sipped, a smile enjoyed, conversation held. She told me her shift would finish at 3. I gave her a wink, but I didn't have the heart to tell the sweetheart that I would be long gone by then. The town brought many treasures, a serendipity one might say. Cute diners, done-up cars, alleyways dark and foreboding, that hid a century of secrets, etched into the bricks, the stone and the atmosphere. Once this town was a bustling centre, now it finds itself, somewhat warranted, to be the butt of many cruel jokes. I love strolling down the main downtown drag. I think it's a Saturday. Cafes are open, boutiques slowly open their doors. The traffic builds to a gentle hum. Pushbike riders dismount their two-wheeler transporters. Clad in lycra with a click-click of their riding shoes, they order coffee and croissants for the next leg of their journey. Young couples push prams, their little ones chew on brightly coloured, teething toys. The parents sip their morning coffee and talk about all the things a normal couple might talk about. Some days I feel like shooting film. Some days I feel like shooting digital. It's a gloomy day, meteorologically speaking, and I was glad I brought my little Fujifilm camera, my little Fuj. I know I'll be able to tinker with the photos when I get home, and I find myself thinking that I might try to go for some kind of cinematic theme when I edit the photos and patch together a video. I head out of town. Old monoliths to progress now stand as a reminder of what once was. Tombstones, edifices, reminding all that the progress eats itself eventually. Still, I find myself enraptured by the solemn, somewhat proud way these monuments stand, like a middle finger pointed upwards at the society and structures they once supported. The old train station, now thoroughly disused, yet not abandoned, begs to be explored. We, the aforementioned beloved, and I would sit here in winter, waiting for the train to arrive and take us home. We land early to bring a thermos. The waiting train tea became a favourite end-of-adventure ritual. Knee to knee, shoulder to shoulder, arm to arm, we would sip very hot, very bitter tea from the same stainless steel cup and review the day's finds. I have a confession. One of my first creative passions, one of the things that got me hooked into the photography game, was exploring abandoned areas and abandoned places. I loved finding old warehouses, schools and homes, anywhere like that really. I take really terrible photos and think I was king shit. In retrospect, I was terrible. The places I photographed were boring at best, and my technical skills were non-existent. Nevertheless, I loved it. It was a gateway drug for better photography, if I may indulge my own vanity. With that in mind, my last stop in this town out west is an old train graveyard. Each time I visit, which to be honest is rarely, the trains are more run down, the grass is higher and the graffiti is more tacky. These old machines that transported hundreds of tons of goods and countless passengers across the countryside now sit decrepit, abandoned and forgotten. There's signs warning against trespassing, and I'm confident that an authoritarian figure wouldn't be too fazed by a fat 40-something-year-old fellow with a camera. The sun high in the sky and a rumble in my tummy denoted that it was time for me to go. As they say, leave while you're having fun. I've had a wonderful morning enjoying this town out west, enjoying the memory of a pretty gal and the smile of a sweetheart. I've loved finding the details that were new and details that were old. I've loved being out without the miserable fog, the sadness and the blah that has stalked me for many moons. Most of all though, I've loved having you along to join me on this adventure.